Micah here, and tonight I'm leading the Sunday conference training call that you're not going to want to miss. We're talking about the power of marketing, and I've ran my own ad agencies, digital marketing companies, and firms for over 25 years, and we're going to talk about it all. The law of attraction, public relations, event marketing, how to win in social media. In fact, we'll even cover old school traditional media and then wrap it off with a little bit of app development and what's the latest in Rapid Funnel. So don't miss it. Tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on Team Empire Zoom. See you there. We're good, brother. Take us away, Daryl Middleton, the man.
Good evening, Euphoria Nation. This is Daryl Middleton out of Fresno, California. Firstly, let me commend you for taking some time today to, number one, get lethally skilled, as Ron Williams would say, in regards to your business. You know, there's millions of businesses across the United States, and one of the chief failures of most businesses, sometimes small and large, is their marketing efforts. And we're going to talk to you about that today. We have an amazing guest speaker, Micah Gaudio. And, you know, there's some really interesting things about Micah. I mean, we've worked together on a couple of things, and believe it or not, as old as I am, I'm still in the process of learning. You have to be a learner in anything that you do. And I do ping Micah from time to time throughout the course of the week on various things to help me with my business. But let me just tell you about this young guy here. He's toured with a band. He's done 3 albums. He was a Division I pole vaulter. Okay. He's and decathlon. He's founded he's founded and sold several businesses. He's had digital agencies. He's had magazines. He's had a wakeboard company. He's had a boat dealership, and believe it or not, he was also the GE Medicals Division's global marketing director. Now, when you think about GE, it's one of those brands that you can trust. And so we really do have a trusted advisor on our line tonight to show us some of the do's and don'ts on marketing. Micah, take it away, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. And Daryl, man, we met, I don't know, about 90 days ago. No, we met in Vegas. That's right, where we first met. Then we connected again about 30 days later, and he said, man, I have this idea with rule sets and filters and auto messaging. And I'm like, man, right?
Yep, we sure did.
And I said, I'm already working on it, bro. So we've just been vibing lately on all kinds of systems and working together. Daryl, you want to hit some of these announcements for me, man?
Oh, sure, absolutely. You know, as you guys know, we have what's called Swab for the Cause. And I think it's a phenomenal movement, actually, when we think about what we have and how powerful it is for the communities where we live, our families, our friends, to truly know what's going on with their bodies versus being a target for the healthcare system as we know it that promotes sickness, not wellness. So I think if you think about it, we're really dealing with something that can take us into the 2020 with a lot of momentum. As you know, there's a calendar. Next slide.
Yes, sir.
As you guys know, there's the ability to book Ron for events. As you see here, bit.ly book Ron. I encourage you to do it. He actually has done several events for me, and I have to tell you, he gets in where he fits in. Just an amazing speaker. You know, what more can you say? I think we have an amazing leader. And then we have our DNA Cafe. Now, this is something that I do throughout the course of the week with my personal upline, which is Tina and Kelly Vincent, who are very just phenomenal human beings. But they have basically a straight up motivational talk for about 15 minutes a day. And I think all of us have at least 15 minutes where we can hear something inspirational that's life-changing, not necessarily always about the business, but things that help you in business. That's fair. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. And then we have something going on every day of the week, guys. The only way to really work this business is to plug into the business. And we have plenty of support here for you, Monday through Friday, as you can see on this slide. And if you don't want to write all this stuff down, you can actually text Empire to 85775. Plug in. It's here for you. Micah?
Daryl, you got a new job doing announcements, brother. Thank you very much. All right. So Daryl's from California. I'm from Florida and Virginia. I'm in Virginia right now. That's the Tampa Bay Skyway Bridge behind me. Thank you for joining us. I just got back. I'm a proud father of a 17-year-old senior at Jefferson Forest High School, and their high school just made nationals for a drama competition. So it was kind of like a winning the state football championship about an hour ago here. All the parents were outside the bus, like clapping. Man, it was quite a scene, and happy for my daughter. It's the first time ever in this prestigious school's dramatic history, if you will, that they've made nationals. So I'm super excited and a proud father. So, but if I'm not prepared for this after 25 years of marketing, then I never will be. But I just wanted to, Kyle asked me to run this meeting tonight, and I'm just going to speak from my heart and conversate with you guys. If you want to drop anything in the chat that I talk about, you have a question, I run kind of fast, and like if I say something you don't understand, just go ahead and pop it in the chat. I'm monitoring that. I thought I was monitoring that. Hold on, let me get it back up, and we'll just go from there. First thing I wanted to talk about. Thank you, Jeffrey. So see, I'm watching that. Hey, Carmen. So first I want to talk about mindset. Okay, I've been in business consulting for over 20 years. I've been in marketing advertising for 25 years. I know I'm giving away my age. 63. And, you know, as a business consultant, marketing consulting, I'm always concerned about mindset of the client, you know, and if their mindset's not right, if their attitude about money's not right, then they're not going to attract wealth. Right. So, you know, that's super important. So I wanted to start with that tonight. And you know, usually the book recommendations are at the end. I want to talk about a book that changed my life. You know, as a preacher's kid, I didn't grow up the wealthiest family on the block. You know, at one point my mom said, you know, the only way you're probably going to get to college is, you know, on an athletic scholarship. And I had offers in basketball and track, and I went that way. And that just drove me. And, you know, after all these years, I've never been in multi-level marketing, direct sales like this. And I've just found a home, because now I'm not just, you know, my consulting is not just limited to people that own businesses. Everybody can own their own business. And, you know, marketing is what I do. So I just fit right into this group, man. Everybody I've met in Euphoria, I've loved. There's not one person that I've met that I didn't like. And this is just awesome, isn't it? And we just attract this, right? You guys feel what I'm talking about. So I've been studying metaphysics for the last 2 years. I've read over 25 books. I'm not by any means an expert or claim to be an expert, but it has blown my mind. Absolutely blown my mind. Check this guy out, Joseph Murphy, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Have you, you know, not only does he talk about, and I'm not talking prosperity gospel and things like this. I'm talking about what, you know, God put in us, our subconscious mind, our intuition, and how to use that, right? So there's all kinds of things like the law of reverse effort. Have you ever tried so hard to achieve something that you just seem like you push it away, right? But yet things come easy, right? You probably noticed that in your sales. It explains all of that as the science of the mind. And then how to program your subconscious mind, right? Any of you guys do affirmations? Hit it up in there. You're a preacher's wife? All right, Carmen, preacher's kid. And so the placebo effect, you know, why do, you know, a bone that's supposed to be from a saint heal 4,000 people, and then they find out it's just a regular dog bone, right? The placebo effect. I mean, if you're in Euphoria and you're in sales, you need to understand the laws of the mind, how to heal your body using your mind. And then it just goes into powerful interpretations of scripture through the lens of the subconscious mind that I just love. And I think if you can get this book on audio, go ahead. I'm going to tell you, for any of you guys do affirmations, here's a cool little trick. Hold on, I'll show you this in a second. This book right here, you guys have heard of Dale Carnegie, right? And Napoleon Hill. Well, a lot of people haven't heard of Joseph Murphy. He's got over 45 books. And this Life-Changing Secrets books that Napoleon Hill wrote, look where Joseph's name is. He was actually a mentor to Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill. If that doesn't give him enough credibility, go check it out. The other important thing about marketing and the power of marketing, you got to understand where marketing's come from, okay? And really, this video on YouTube is free. It's a 4-part series. It will blow your mind about the history of marketing, the century of self. Check it out on YouTube. Make a note to watch this. You will be hooked in the first 10 minutes, okay? Before the 1900s, we didn't buy all this fashion stuff. We weren't about ourselves, right? We weren't about personalized, customized, right? Everybody wore the same stuff. And this goes through the entire history of the century of self and politics. And it was mostly due to this guy, Edward Bernays. He's actually, some of you heard of Sigmund Freud. He was actually his nephew. And he actually invented public relations. Propaganda before the Nazis was not a bad word. That's what he named his book. And this is just an eye-opening. If you're going to understand marketing and how to be a winner in marketing, you got to understand these things and how we have filled ourselves and what we have done as a society in the last, 100 years. It has changed rapidly. And this explains it all. It should be taught in every marketing, advertising, communications class. I didn't find it until later in life, and I just wanted to share some of these principles. They will open up your eyes. Attraction. Let's talk about it related to a few things like social media. On our Facebook group, the Team Empire Builders, you can download this, How to Gain 10,000 Followers in 30 Days Without Any Capital. You see that? It's from Build Your Empire. How many of you guys have checked that out? It's a great thing John Malott put together for us. All true. Check it out. If you don't know where it's at, message me. I'll make sure you get it. Gary V. Anybody like Gary Vaynerchuk? Anybody watch him? Pretty cool guy, right? I appreciate him. You know about his 80-20 rule. Have you ever tried it? Every time I try, and what I'm talking about, and basically, in short, what it is you only get what you put out, right? So a lot of us just think, oh, we're going to post, but we don't actually interact with people, right? Gary challenges you to go out and not like 80 posts, but go out there and comment and message and be engaged with people and find out what happens. I have only been able to get to 30 in one day, and I brought 2 people on to Euphoria that day that I tried. And it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, Mark, just hit me up, Facebook or on the group, and I'll get that to you. It's actually amazing when you go with this mindset of, I'm just going to bless people. I'm just going to put out there good energy, good vibes, what comes back to you, instead of just post. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Does everybody do that? Good. Be centered. What that means is not be tied to the outcome, right? Sometimes, I want euphoria for somebody because I know it will benefit them so bad, right? And I'm just pushing it away. You really have to be centered in your sales and your efforts in marketing, and not be tied to the outcome, and do what makes sense. Balance of your time. I constantly have to do a check, and my little filter is, if I don't have enough time for my family or yoga or meditation or prayers, then I'm too busy, right? And you got to have balance. If you're running too hard, you're going to run the wheels off. Get your rest, get your sleep. And then I put together, for those of you that are into affirmations, I put together a bunch of affirmations. I'm going to give you one. Hey, Google, what are my reminders for the day? Can you hear this? 1 second.
You have 3 reminders every day at 11:11 a.m. Automate. Every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 10 p.m. Meditation for building self-confidence. I know that the answer to my problem lies in the God self within me. I now get
okay,
quiet,
Google, stop.
feel and relax.
You get the idea, right? So not only speaking your affirmations, you can have Google do it or Alexa do it. So it's a little trick that I like to do in the morning or when I'm in the shower right before I go to bed. There's different ones for wealth, forgiveness, all kinds of things. If you DM me, I'll send you a Google Doc of all the affirmations that I've found. You can cut and paste them into Alexa or Google Home, whatever you want to do. But anyway, that's about attraction and programming your subconscious mind for wealth, for health, for love, for friendship, even sales. So anything. I promised you all Eventbrite marketing, right? How many of you guys are doing live presentations, whether on the computer, and that's all you're doing? How do you market that? I've been working with Eventbrite for well over a decade, and they have a unique connection to Facebook that you should understand. It's not just putting your event on Facebook are in Eventbrite. They have a unique connection with advertising. I do a lot of events regionally for acts. Like this summer we did, what did we do? The Commodores and other big acts like that. And we sell a lot of tickets online through Eventbrite. So I wanted to cover some things that you may not know, some tips or tricks about how to do events. We're getting all our events from now on Facebook, where you can invite your friends. Obviously, you can do it through Rapid Funnel. That's another good way. But basically, you don't want to start any later than 2 weeks prior. A lot of people start 3 months or 2 months, or a month. That's almost too early. Maybe 30 days. Obviously, you want to put it up there as soon as you can, but don't expect anything. People don't really move until 2 weeks before the event. Another thing to think about is your date, time, and location. Don't be afraid to spend some money on the location, right? And have a prestigious location. Maybe give them a drink ticket or something. The date and time are also important. Be aware, people can't get off of work and get there. Be aware of dinner. Sometimes, if it's on the weekends as well is a good time. But basically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights are really good nights. Be careful about Fridays, and then Sundays. So, the time of the event is very important. Use the Eventbrite link to Facebook. So this is where most people make the mistake. They create the event in Facebook first, create it in Eventbrite, and then connect it to Facebook like we said here. Now, another great thing you can do is go ahead, and if you have a Facebook page or you have your own Facebook group, go ahead and ask, like I know DNA Global Empire has some events, ask to co-host it. And that will actually come up on your Facebook page as an event. So if you're creating an event, go ahead and add some of your friends' page to co-host that event. Make sure it doesn't conflict. And if they accept that, it's almost like marketing to all of their page likes. Do you get that? Super big, important thing to do. When we did an event, anytime we did an event, every sponsor, we made a co-host. Every restaurant nearby, anybody, even the bands, right? So make sure to use that co-host. I'd go in, a little more in depth in this, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me on that as well. Obviously, personalize your invite to friends. Now, go through your list and don't just invite as many as you can. Go ahead and invite them individually. Write a little name. Give them a coupon code, right? There's all kinds of things you can do with inviting friends and sharing it. The other thing is run 1/3 targeted ads, okay? For an event, like if you were doing an Euphoria live event at a hotel or wherever, I would recommend you not spend more than $100 or $200. Now, what I would do with that money is put it in 3 places. Boosting a post is the absolute worst thing you could ever do on Facebook. It's a waste of money, but you can do it. Don't do more than $10 or $15, and don't do it for more than 2 days. And always make sure it's geo-fenced around your area, like 25 miles around, or 50 miles max around the event. Make sure you target it to people that like health and wellness, those kind of things, right? But people forget you can advertise the event as well, just the event. And then also you go to the Facebook ads manager. So I'm splitting, what I'm trying to say is you split the money up. If you had $100, split 1/3 of it for post, 1/3 of it for the event, and 1/3 of it for ad variations in Facebook. And that's the way to market that event on Facebook. Now, I'll tell you what's so important about connecting this to Facebook is instead of going to a link to buy tickets, you can actually just click one button and buy that ticket in Facebook. Or if it's a free event for somebody, they can click one link and you get their personal information in Eventbrite. If any of you have used Eventbrite before, you can email everybody in the event. So it's like you're building, marketing for the future and future events, right? So make sure you connect to Facebook properly through Eventbrite. That is the main key. And that's something else I want to say. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can do a lot of giveaways for liking and sharing. And we've been able to reduce our ad budgets about 50%. The giveaways have been so successful. So, here's a couple ideas. Tag 4 of your friends that you'd want to go to, the event. And what you'll end up doing is they'll tag 4 events. Those are the influencers of the group, right? Those are the party people. Those are the people that are organizing things. So what you can do, let's just say your event's $10 or it's free or something, put a value on it. And say, hey, I can give you 4 tickets with this coupon. And let's say it was Nancy. You can actually in Eventbrite create a coupon code for 4 free tickets for Nancy. It's a great way to get influencers, fill the room. And then they're getting some value because they thought they got a $15, free ticket to the event. So a few ideas there on giveaways. And there's different ways to do it. 2 other tips about giveaways. You have to do it that night. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to pick a winner, 4 days from now. It needs to be, I'm picking a winner tonight at 10 p.m., right? And we're going to announce the winner at 10:05. That is a call to action. Not, oh, I'm going to pick a winner tomorrow or next week. No one will ever do it. Do it. The sense of urgency has to be there. Does that make sense for giveaways? So make sure you do giveaways. There's a sense of urgency. Mix it up. Tag 1 friend, tag 3 friends, share this event. Make sure you are going to the event, right? Make sure that is checked as well in order to win the event. So let's go into traditional media. Like I said, I'm old school, kind of meet new school. I've been in web development, app development since the beginning, Facebook since the beginning. But before that, I was a creative director in print, believe it or not, in video and audio. And, if you don't have business cards, and you got to get them right now. They're cheap enough, and your goal should be, I know I'm repeating this for some of us older people, but I know there's a lot of millennials out there that don't use business cards, so they just text. I'll tell you why you want to leave. You maybe never heard this before. I give a business card to everybody I can, and here's why. Because it goes in their pocket or goes somewhere else, and you know what? It ends up on their desk, just like these business cards I got in Vegas last few days with contacts. And it reminds them constantly. That text that you sent when you got their digits, they forget about, right? So what inevitably ends up happening is 30 days, 60 days, 90 days from now, I get a call, hey, Micah, you gave me that card. That works. So never underestimate, on the back of my cards, I've got text DNA to 85775 for more information. You see it on the brochure down there. I'll leave a brochure. I always carry those with me as well. POP displays. Here's something that works. We've got a health and wellness massage place. They do all kinds of healing. They've actually got our DNA kits and our brochures up right behind where they take everybody's money, right at the, partner with health and wellness places, and there's all kinds of things to do, and that's a point of purchase display, obviously. And then last week, where were we? We were in Tampa, and I was talking to a guy at the bar with Misty. And he's getting ready to sell his business for millions that he markets financial advisors. And I asked him what his keys to success were. And he said something very interesting because I used to be in direct mail, quite a bit of it. And he said, never underestimate direct mail. It still works. And direct mail campaigns don't need to cost you a lot of money. You can hit everybody in your zip code for a flat rate amount on a postcard for very cheap. So direct mail still works. Or let's just say you've got a local little magazine that goes around to, a couple thousand people, or a neighborhood watch. There's all kinds of ways that you can get in your neighborhood and around. When does it make sense to do radio, television, and print? It's not all dead. There's a lot of local little papers, right? Little community things that people love and pick up all the time. It may make sense to run $100 ad in there, just to be in your community. I know a lot of lawn guys that still use, door hangers, and that's their main source of business, or plumbers when they're in the area. You see the yard signs. Real estate still comes from yard signs. It's not all online. So, be thinking about these traditional media things, when you're around in your community and where they make sense. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you got a local cable station and here's what happens when you run an ad, okay? Now, it's not like this in the big papers. You run a small ad, they might do a free story on you, free publicity. They're not always separated in the editorial and advertising, right? So, what local resources do you have that you could maybe call them and say, hey, I'd be interested in giving you something newsworthy about DNA nutrition and, what it's doing in our local community, blah, blah, blah. Whoop, they'll call you. They're always looking for good stories, right? So don't underestimate traditional media. It's still around. It hasn't gone away. It's not all digital, and it's something we should take more advantage of. Digital advertising. Let me tell you some secrets here. I've been running Facebook ads since '08 and Instagram. Know the U policies. Definitely read the Euphoria policies, what you can and can't do, okay? Sorry, I was reading questions there. There's a great little link here for those of you that run Rapid Funnel. There's no need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on ClickFunnels and things. That's why they call it Rapid Funnel. You've got funnels already built for you in Rapid Funnel. Look at that. Send them to your generic link. Some of you guys that have been on the, excuse me one second. On the Rapid Funnel trainings, I'm going to have to hit mute for a second. Excuse me, I'm choking on my water here. Anyway, some of you guys know if you go to resources, you get a generic link. And if you go to the contact, then that's a personalized link for the contact. But all those links in the resources are generic links that you can use for advertising. And I know a lot of people that do this on the team, whether or not they've gotten lists or they're sending a certain list, they send generic, kind of like phishing, their generic links out there, and then they capture them through this landing page right here, and they get their name. Now, the great thing about doing it in Rapid Funnel, as opposed to ClickFunnels or anything else, is now we've captured that email and that phone number for drip campaigns. And now they're going to be assigned to the product opportunity campaign, where they're going to get an email on the second day, on the third day, on the seventh day. Remind them, and it's going to work for you. Automation is going to work for you. So when you run ads or you do some posts, it's not all about messaging. Send them to this page right here. It's the 90-second video, right? And you guys know where it is. It's the peak interest. And send your ads to your own resource link, okay? Now, domain forwarding is another thing you can do. This is super simple and super cheap. It's $15 for a domain at GoDaddy. All you have to do is forward that to your generic peak interest, right? So mine's dnastep.com, dnastep1.com. And that goes to my landing page here, right? So, that's easy to remember because, Facebook and Instagram are blocking links, right? You don't get exposure when you put those links out there. That's why when you post something from, outside, it doesn't seem to get any likes or any exposures. So what you can do is write it in the image. Okay? So you'll see when I do a Giphy or something, I'll put dnastep1.com and it will link to this page. So it's a great way, get a short domain. It's something easy and memorable. People don't have to click it, right? And it goes past, the filters of Facebook and Instagram and gets people to your funnel page there in Rapid Funnel. The other thing that we talked about advertising a little bit in the event section is just know your audience. Like, try to stay away from promoting posts. Don't promote posts more than 2 days. Make sure it's honed in on an audience that makes sense, whether it's female, male, age group, demographic. Definitely always, geo-targeted, right? 15 miles, 20 miles, Facebook got rich on making where they beat Google is that every business owner loved hitting that promote a post and they thought they were getting something out of it. It's not the best way to do it. If you do it, make sure that you target in and know your audience. Make sure you have a pixel set up for conversions. And that's a whole nother thing. And then retargeting is another thing. You guys ever go and look at a pair of shoes and then that pair of shoes follows you, right, to Facebook. And then, you could be out on USA Today and you see those pair of shoes. That's called retargeting. When you put those shoes in the cart or you looked at that page, they tracked you with a cookie and now they're serving you up ads everywhere you go. Facebook, Instagram, wherever, it's following you. And that's called retargeting. And that's been around for a while, and you could double your conversion rate by running retargeting campaigns. I know I'm getting a little complicated there, but it's nice to hear some of these things. SMS and email. All right. So SMS is where in the last decade I've made most of my auto money. And it's a wonderful tool. 98% read rate as opposed to like a 5-6% read rate in email. SMS and texting is an awesome thing for customer retention. So we're building campaigns like this. Micah and Misty, it's from Micah and Misty to Micah. Didn't use any names here. So it's personalized. Are you taking your patrician? And then boom, take your patrician, and then all the reasons why. And then down below, it has the science on it. So once somebody starts a campaign or they start nutrition with me, I automatically put them in this drip campaign. And this drip campaign is available to you also in Rapid Funnel in the email version of it. So just checking the questions there. So make sure that you put them in those campaigns in Rapid Funnel. Now, SMS, you can do a lot of things with SMS. There's keyword capture. Like I said, text DNA to my short code 85775, and you'll get a bounce back personalized to you. You can use that at events. If you haven't already, and we should be talking about this, try to get to as many local events as you can. Even if you don't have a booth, figure it out. The banner stand on the website is, I think, only $100 something, right? You can pop that thing up, and you can get a text to, instead of the fishbowl and people putting their business cards or writing their names. We've got things like this kiosk here, right, where you can put in the small view. I don't know if you can see this, but it's basically an iPad, and they can put their phone number in and pass it around. It can be at your table, at your trade show, those type of things. We have a thing called Smart Links with texting and email, and you see it in Rapid Funnel as well. Do you ever wonder why all those links have all those different combinations, right? Well, they're personalized to you. So we can tell when you clicked it, how much you watched, all that stuff. You can see who's engaged. And then most importantly is rule sets, filters, segments, and groups. And, imagine I can sit back. Let's say I had 1,000 people in my team, and I want to send a text message to all the females who want to make over $10,000 a month and have over 20 hours to give and have watched the last 3 webinars in the last 2 weeks. That's all in the data, and I can send a message to those people. And that's what rule sets and filters are. For example, we have one that's, hey, what were your red snips? And then they check what their red snips were, and they were automatically sent a video on the red snips, and they can watch the 3-minute about their snip, or they can watch the Lunchtime with Jen about those snips. And so we know what their snips are, and we can send messages based on those snips and things like that. So another important thing with SMS that's going on is RCS. Has anybody heard of RCS? SMS. Yeah, it's coming down the pipe now. And it's basically like chatbots, automated messaging. So, things will get more automated as you text your dealership to, get your car serviced. It will be auto all the way through. You see this down in the bottom of your computer screen or on your app. You'll see these little chatbot comes up, and they're pretty good, aren't they? I mean, 80% of the time they answer my question. So, we have that technology too to use as direct salespeople to help people when we may not be around, but it also is a capture tool as well. So there's tons of companies. You're going to hear a lot of RCS marketing as it gets released on Android and Google and iOS this year. It'll be more prevalent. You'll see a lot more of it. So anyway, I just wanted to talk with you guys about just the overall what's going on with marketing. Here's another example right here. If you guys want to get, I put these videos together for you. If you text RAPID to 85775, you'll get all the new Rapid Funnel updates as they are available. I will text them to you. If you got the app, you may get the push alert. I do send out emails as well. But if you want to text RAPID to 85775, it goes through. These are very short videos, as you can see, like 1 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute. It takes you to a YouTube playlist, and you can kind of brush up on Rapid Funnel and keep rolling with that. So, I just wanted to be short and sweet. I think that's all I got for tonight. And give you an overview of just different marketing ideas, kind of a little bit out of the norm, and, just go get it. One way is not the only way. We have several ways that work. And it's up to you to find out how you hit your stride, right? Do what works for you. Stay in your strengths. And we've got a lot of leaders with a lot of tools and a lot of training. Pick what works for you. Try it. The simple thing is just the exposures every day, right? Get those exposures. whatever you got to do to hold yourself accountable to those exposures. Share that video, right? Or it could be as simple as what I said with the Gary Vee thing. Try to comment on just tomorrow. Promise me, you'll try to comment on 30 posts. Just try it. Try it. Just try it. Watch what happens. It's not about selling. A lot of times I'll just be in a conversation and I won't even mention you for you. It will just come up naturally in conversation, right? Go out and show love to people. Oh, that's a great picture. Don't be sincere, be real, be authentic, right? Does anybody else try that stuff? Good, perfect, yeah. Thanks, Jeffrey. Try that tomorrow and see what happens. It will enlighten your day. Not only will you make connections for euphoria, but your whole day will just be enlightened, right? I mean, you'll be blessing other people, and it's like you get what you put out. You know what I'm saying? So, and it comes back to you. I know that one day, the day that I tried it, and I only got to 30, I saw this girl that had friended me. We had a ton of mutuals, and she had something in the top of her icon, and it was I didn't know what it was, so I just asked her. I go, "Hey, what's that?" I can't even remember what it was. Started this whole conversation. She met me. 4 hours later, got her DNA test, and what you get, what you come back. Misty ended up buying a Kangen water system from her, about a month later. So she didn't, it wasn't. I wasn't trying to sell her or anything. It just came up naturally. And it started from a friendship. Like, oh, these friends, just talk to people. You'll find that create a conversation. I know everybody says that, but just comment, make a nice comment, like, an original comment, like nice Halloween outfit. I was that last year, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know how to do that. Be you and just watch what happens. That's what I wanted to challenge you guys to do. So any questions tonight? And of course, you guys know that most of the leaders are on the cruise. So we're going to have amateurs like myself leading. So we've got a full week this week. Make sure you text Empire to 85775. And I'm going to stop the recording right now. But I'd love to open it up to anybody who is a giver on social media. If you could just tell me a story where you had done something like that and it just opened up the door for you, I would love to hear from you. Come on, DJ, you have. Teresa?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Thanks, Teresa.
I have had an amazing relationship built with a person I just connected with an outside group on Facebook, and we became friends through that. And it's just been a journey of sharing really health knowledge. He hasn't been able to move forward with the product with the cost, but in sharing what I have learned about nutrition and different things, he's been able to make huge changes in his life, in going to the doctor and seeing blood tests and just amazing things happening in his life. He's got 6 grandkids, and man, he lights up my world every day when we're sharing laughter and just love and connection. So it's all about being authentic and reaching out with really passion and what your goal is of connecting with people. And that resonates through who is reading your posts and following you, not only with the conversation you're having with that person, but everyone that's reading those conversations.
Right. It just residual, like,
Yeah.
Carmen, Carmen, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you had a great month last month. You were on a trip and then came back and you were just blowing up. You got to share some of your success with us. Come on, if you're still there. Look at how much Carmen puts out. You see that in the chat? So it comes natural to her. I'd love to hear what you do. Maybe you can give us some tips and tricks.
I don't know about that because obviously I'm not on the cruise.
Well, this last month you have really done well.
Well, I'm just, you know what? I'm a very outgoing person, and when I'm on a flight, I'm just the social butterfly. And one of my last flights turned out to be I was flying out to San Francisco, a whole bunch of surgeons. And, I mean, I love what I do. I love the flight attendant job and I love euphoria. So once I found out I have all these surgeons on board, I was just like flying through the cabin. I'm like, oh, are you a surgeon? And he's like, no. Is there medical? I'm like, no, no, no. It's all good. It's all good. So I went to the next one. Are you a surgeon? He said, yes, I am. I said, oh, I got to talk to you. I mean, you just have to be open. You have to be showing genuine interest. And, you know, and then once they start talking, I do let people talk and let them talk first.
Right.
You know, you
You
want to
have 2
know
ears
what.
and 1 mouth and use them proportionally, right?
Exactly. So once I get their attention, and then I ask them questions. So what do you do? Where do you, or what do you like best? What's your, I mean, I try to get a connection with them. And, you know, and then finally they ask me, what do you do? And then I'm like, well, I'm here, but this is my plan B, because I only fly because, you know, I like to be with people once in a while. And I do my flying job because I want to make connections. But it's just, you have to be authentic. You have to listen to other people. And it's like also with Facebook, you have to go, you have to not only like, you have to make a comment, like, you know, your daughter is beautiful. You
Or
have
ask a
to really
question, like you
engage.
said, right?
Yes.
Get them
You ask,
talking.
yes. Exactly. You want to know how they're feeling, what's going on in their life, and then automatically they tell you what's going on, and then you fill in.
Right.
And you know, that's kind of what I do. And you know, lately what I do is I put a lot of like funny posts out, and then I go back to all the names, and then I start interacting with them. Oh, I saw you like my post. What's going on in your life?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
So
now I'm still new, or still whatever you call it, in their life, because they just posted or commented on my post. So now I'm interacting with them.
you
Does it make
know,
sense?
absolutely. And I should have recommended this book, and I just assumed that everybody has went through it. This is probably the second most influential book in my life, is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's not being fake. It's not being fake at all. It's actually becoming empathetic. And what Dale Carnegie does is masterful. If you haven't, that will, if you're listening to this right now and you don't know what we're talking about, that's the book for you. It will totally change your perspective on things. I had this problem when I was younger about, I would always get pulled over for driving too fast, and I would always get a ticket, right? And and I was with my buddy from LA. I'll never forget. He was a decathlete too, running at UCLA, and he got pulled over, and he went to the cop. He's like, oh man, he had to smile and just this energy, and the cop let him off. And I'm like, that never happens to me, and he was talking to the cop, asking him where he's from, and and I'm like, whoa. And it wasn't being manipulative. The guy was truly just, and when I saw that, it kind of changed, my life. I'm always so negative. Like, I'm always so, I'm waiting for the sky to fall, and it did fall, and I wasn't a naturally positive person like I am now. It takes work. And it's not about being fake. It's about projecting where you want to be, right? I used to have that false belief as well. And so, reach out to people, love people. You find out that everybody, when you understand their position, that's what Dale Carnegie talks about, that you can relate to them. You don't have to agree with their position, but if you can understand them and relate to them, then it opens up a whole world. And so he also just teaches that, you have to ask questions and let people talk. If you're not a good talker, right? Nobody really feels comfortable talking all the time. I know some people, it seems like it, they're just nervous talking. I know this one guy, I would just really get mad at him because he would use this on me, and I'd be like, you need to talk. Stop asking me questions, get me going about myself. Because what do people do? They love to talk about themselves. And generally, I have this skill where I meet anybody in the airport, I travel a lot, I can get to a commonality with them, usually within 60 seconds. Watch what they're at. Maybe they're a Yankees fan or whatever. Ask about that. And it's kind of fun to make a connection with somebody right away. And usually that first question is, where are you from? And I've lived in so many places in my life, I can usually have a connection with somebody there, or I've visited there that I could speak knowledgeably about it. And then that starts the conversation. So, definitely read. I know how many have read that. Put it up in the chat. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I know you have, right? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, definitely. Okay. One more comment. I'm sorry. DJ. Wait, who has one more comment? Carmen?
Yes, I was just reading this book, and it's called Questions Are the Answers by Alan Pease, and I can highly recommend that. So that's just my final thought for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Carmen.
Questions Are the Answers, Alan Pease. Awesome.
Questions Are the Answers, Alan Keyes?
Yes.
Is it?
Alan Pease.
Pease,
Alan,
okay.
Allan, and then Pease.
Awesome.
Awesome. Highly recommended. Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything good to share for the whole group? Inspire us? Come on. Tell us about a win. Yeah? If not, you know what's tomorrow night, right? We got Millennial. I'm not sure who's all up tomorrow. I'll look. I should have known that. But you know when that starts at 9, right? 9 p.m. on Team Fusion. Don't forget to check that out. I want to thank you guys for listening to me tonight. I hope that I gave you some kind of nugget of truth or wisdom that you can use and inspires you in your life. I appreciate you guys. Have a great week and enjoy that extra hour again tonight. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. Take care, guys.
Good night, everybody.